On today's show,
Anthony Davis is frustrated, Air Gordon drops an in-game 50, and air balls galore.
in Crossfire, were LeBron's cookies offside? And who will be the last undefeated team?
And inspired by Ray Allen's official retirement, we introduce a new game called How I'll Remember You.
It's Wednesday, November 2nd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast or joining us live on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, we're happy to have all of you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Millis.
This time of year, it's trees up, acorns down.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lately, and last, certainly not least, over yonder, it's the bearded one. It's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o! Hey-o!
Oh, TK, what's on your computer tonight?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And there was a pretty funny moment in last night's Lakers game, and it comes courtesy of Meta World Peace. I haven't seen somebody that excited for a made free throw since the last time Lee Ellis was shooting free throws by himself in the cage. But it brings us to today's question. What do you love about basketball? And I know it's a hard question for me because basketball is my favorite sport. I love the way they dribble up and down the court. I love slam dunks, take me to the hoop. My favorite play is the alley-oop. I love the pick and roll. I love the give and go. With basketball, man, you just don't know. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter. What do you love about basketball? Send us your best answers at #TheStarters. We'll hear from you a little bit later.
That rap didn't blow.
Hey, thanks, man.
That was good. That was good. All right, get your
I got to
tweets
give
in.
you a little wow for that
Oh,
one.
you want the remix, eh?
Yeah,
You want the
sure.
remix. All right, we got a fun show tonight. It's the return of Crossfire, where Tass and I go head-to-head. And we have a new segment, which could be strange, called How I'll Remember You, inspired by Ray Allen's retirement and Sarah McLachlan.
Wow.
Only here on The Starters.
We
But
are
first,
Canadian.
Yeah, let's play a little What You Got. Is always a fun segment here on the show. Trey's going to present us with 2 related topics, or 3, and we have to determine the better choice. The catch, though, there's only one right answer, and it's whatever TK thinks. So, Trey, first one.
All right, our first one. After a little more than a week of basketball, we've got just 3 winless teams in the Western Conference: the New Orleans Pelicans, the Phoenix Suns, and the Dallas Mavericks, all of whom definitely didn't think they'd be winless at this point. But who's had the worst start? The Pelicans, the Suns, or the Mavs? What you got?
It's definitely the Pelicans. This is how bad it's gotten. I was on NBA.com today after Anthony Davis's 35-point performance. Wasn't listed anywhere. I get a daily email with the NBA headlines. Wasn't listed
Nothing.
anywhere.
Yeah.
It's already sort of old news. That's how bad it is. That's how dire it is in New Orleans. The guy's averaging 37 and 13, 3 blocks, 2.5 steals, 2.5 assists, 14 free throws a game, and only 1.5 turnovers, which is very, very
And
good.
they're 0-4.
That's bad. It's
And-
just bad overall.
They've lost 3 games at home against 2 teams that didn't make the playoffs last season. It's really hard to see how the Pelicans are going to dig themselves out of this hole already this early into the season and get back into the playoffs.
Yeah, the schedule hasn't been easy. Hasn't
No.
been easy. They've lost to Denver and then the Warriors and Spurs. Okay,
Yeah.
you can chalk those up L's
Yeah.
right away. But and then they lose to the Bucks. Yeah,
They should have
last
won
night.
that game against the Bucks.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. They're killing themselves on offense. The turnovers are brutal. I'm with you guys. I think TK is going to go with the Pelicans as well. And let's not forget, this team last year lost their first 6 games.
Yeah.
Lost their first 11 of 12. They were already in a hole. They were 9-20 at Christmas. The season was done by then. And here we go again. And you know, the only headline you are seeing, Tass, is Anthony Davis frustrated.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because again, look at the numbers he's putting up, and they keep putting up the L's here. I think it is 148 total points in the first 4 games of the season. That's the most in NBA history for a team that's lost all 4. I mean, 80's making history, but not the type of history
That you want, no.
that you want to make.
Yeah.
You know, the other teams, the Mavs, they missed Dirk for a couple games. The Suns, no one really, I don't think many people outside of maybe diehard Suns fans think they're even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So we think it's the Pelicans.
I think so.
I think it's safe to say. Trey?
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
the Pelicans, like you guys are saying. They got a superstar, and he's unhappy. So that's kind of a double bad start as far as things go in New Orleans. But moving on, we had some sick highlights around the league last night in Philadelphia. Aaron Gordon continued his eternal dunk contest with an all-too-casual two-handed 360 against the Sixers. But in Indiana, Miles Turner turned away a Tariq Black dunk attempt meeting him at the rim and just throwing it back. Which was more draw-dropping? Aaron Gordon's 360 or Miles Turner's block? What you got?
It's very hard to go against a 360 in the game. He got the steal himself, and he went down there and just threw down a 360.
Don't forget that double pump.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon, I mean, the bar is so high for him that when you look at that dunk, a couple of times you think, oh, he could have put a little bit more spice
What,
on it.
because no mascot ran out onto the court and he didn't
Exactly.
jump over?
No, this is ridiculous.
I love seeing young guys like this putting a little bit of razzmatazz on their game. Why not? It's early in the game,
Razzmatazz.
and he's throwing
That's what
it
the young
down.
guys call it.
I love fundamentals. I love defense, but I think we all love a spectacular highlight. That is a spectacular highlight.
We are sort of used to him throwing down dunks, but that pump in there, that was a slam dunk contest dunk. That's probably a 50, right?
For him, maybe
it
not.
might be a 40.
Maybe not, but it felt like the dunks sort of that were at the end of that slam dunk contest when they were tied and they just had to just go into their my natural ability sort of dunks, and that's what that was.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on a break. It wasn't just a 360, which is just a 360, but that pump sold it for me.
And the audacity to do it down 4 in the first quarter when you're on a team that hadn't even won a game up to that point. Frank
the
Vogel
road.
on the road. Frank Vogel must have been like, what is going on here? I mean, he had Paul George throwing down 360s when he was with the Pacers. Those usually came sort of near the end of the game.
Yeah.
This is something else. That said, Miles Turner's block was huge. And I think we're going to see it on the top 10 come Friday. We're going to have a loaded top 10, by the way.
sure.
We've had unbelievable plays, but what you got to love about this is, of course, not just it's a huge block. He keeps the ball and gets it to his guy.
Yeah, and they go down and score a three-pointer on that play too.
Right. I mean, this is I don't know if Derek Black is going to actually dunk that. He's taking off quite far, but that's a big stop.
That's why he lost points for me. I think, A, it's Tarek Black, who's not a great dunker that we know of to start with. And then he's trying to dunk it from a place. He actually probably got saved from Miles Turner blocking him. Otherwise, that was a Shaq and a Fool nomination.
Yeah, it's possible. All right, so in the end, I think we do agree we're going to go Aaron Gordon's 360.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be Aaron Gordon's 360. An in-game 360 is always going to win as far as I'm concerned. But moving on, unfortunately, it wasn't all highlights. There were a few notable air balls last night. LeBron left one short from the line against the Rockets. Still got some high fives. Joakim Noah tried on a long two for size and missed everything. And Rudy Gay's would-be game winner ended up hitting Costa Goofus in the head. Uh-oh. Who had the worst
Right in
air
the bald
ball?
spot.
LeBron, Noah, or Gay? What you got?
Wow.
It's LeBron. Unfortunately, it's LeBron. Yes, it's definitely LeBron.
Why?
This is- we're
Just
the
because
best.
it's LeBron?
There's the best player in the world missing a free throw. Short. Joakim Noah isn't a shooter. Let's get that straight, and it's from further out. This is
LeBron
the guy
hit the mesh, though.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Right. The other
Swish.
two guys were way short.
And Rudy Gay on a broken play, that actually happens occasionally. That's just a bad play at the end of a game. He shouldn't be throwing that up. It's just bad offense.
But that's hero ball. He didn't need to take a three-pointer to win the game.
Oh, here we go, Coach. Here we
He
go,
needed
Coach.
to take a good shot. You don't have to shoot the ball as the clock is running out.
That sure looked like the play.
So,
Rudy Gay has done that before.
right, but
It's not
what
on
I'm
Rudy
saying is
Gay.
you just need to hit the basket. It doesn't have to go through as the light's flashing and it's going off. Get a good shot if you're going to try to win the game, especially on the road.
Okay, Mr. Free Throw, Lee Ellis, is actually not going to side with Tass and take LeBron's free throw, airball free throw. You're going to take Rudy Gay,
Just because you
his own guy.
you don't need a three-pointer in that situation. Get a better shot. He's got Justice Winslow on him, good defender. Rudy Gay is a good closer, actually. We've seen him hit some game winners before. Go towards the basket. You might get a foul. Shoot it when there's like 3 or 4 seconds left on the clock so that if you miss, you might get a tip in, get the ball back, give yourself another chance. Hero ball.
Okay, you guys, whoa, the rear thumbs down. The rear thumbs down.
Very unsolid.
Gassy thumbs. I guess.
You're both wrong. Sorry, I think you're both wrong. I don't think it's LeBron or Rudy Gay. I think Noah's is the worst airball.
You kind of expect it from JoJo.
No, watch. He is scared. He's legit scared. He takes a reluctant dribble, moves in 1 foot. Oh, now I'm in range.
Well, he misses by
He
a good
misses
4
by
feet.
a mile here.
Well, he can't hear. He's got something on his ear.
Yeah, it's true.
Who's the other one?
Listening to.
Okay, we disagree on this one. Trey, what's the right answer?
Oh, it's Rudy Gay.
Yes!
He hit his own teammate with the ball trying to win the game.
All right, let's hear it. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know on Twitter, #TheStarters. We got lots more still to come when we come back. Tass and I are going to drop the gloves as we go head-to-head in our very first crossfire of the season. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome. Crossfire, if you're new to the
almost
show,
fell
this is how it works. Trey will give Skeets and me 3 topics. We'll debate each one, and then Trey will declare a winner. Trey, what's our first topic?
All right, round 1. There are 5 undefeated teams remaining in the NBA: the Hawks, Bulls, Cavs, Clippers, and Thunder. So here's your question: who will be the last undefeated team? Here we go.
It's the Cleveland Cavaliers. The best team in the Eastern Conference is on a mission, it feels like. I could see them winning a bunch of games in a row, being first in the East, and then sort of just killing the headlights and putting it in neutral. And the other thing about them is they don't have a backup point guard. Iman Shumpert is playing the backup point guard, so that makes them focus a little bit more. So they can't go into a lull when the bench comes on. I think that gives them an extra bit of focus. The Cavs, this is crazy. They might go undefeated in November.
Wow, that is crazy.
That is
I
crazy.
wanted to convince myself to take the Clippers, but they have a tough schedule. They got OKC tonight, and then they got back-to-back road games against the Grizzlies and Spurs. So I'm going to go with the Hawks. Give me the Hawks. The Eastern Conference, other Eastern Conference team who's 3-0. They host the Lakers tonight. That should be a W down at the Fortress. Then they play the Wizards on Friday. They already beat them in their opener handedly by 15 or so. And then they got the Rockets on Saturday. A winnable game. I think we could see, I'll throw this out there, we could see the Hawks and the Cavs both undefeated come next week, early next week. It's in play.
I don't know. I was there Monday against
It's
the
in play.
Kings. They probably shouldn't have won that.
They
ugly
did win
game.
that though. Throw your dubs
they?
up. Kaka!
Okay.
All right, correct answer is the Bulls. Nonetheless, moving on to round 2. If you haven't seen it yet, there were some Klay Thompson and Steph Curry tombstone cookies at LeBron James's Halloween party over the weekend. When he was asked about these cookie tombstones, Klay responded, "Yeah, I don't get it, because I'm not dead." Which was better, LeBron's cookies or Klay's response? Here we go!
Cookies! It's the cookies! This is amazing. LeBron James used a Halloween party to roast the Warriors. That is so petty, it's amazing.
Yes,
and let me
exactly.
explain
It's
this.
a little
hey,
petty.
Clay, let me explain it. It says 2015-16, not 1990 to 2016, the year you were born in. It's last year. You're dead. They came back from 3-1, and that was the only thing. LeBron, they had like a skeleton kick drum that had the 3-1 lead on it, the very popular meme. They blew it. I think it's got to be the cookies. The Warriors have talked trash before. They've talked trash before, and now the Cavs are throwing it back a little bit.
Are we still talking about last year's finals? This story should be dead, like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry supposedly are. It's over. Klay Thompson's line was hilarious when he saw that tombstone. I don't get it, because I'm not dead.
I have
This was-
no humor. My setting is broken. Come on, man. Relax.
It's 5.5 months ago, and they're still talking about this. This is old news. You're giving them
Halloween.
bulletin board
There's
material.
no rules on Halloween. It's great. The cookies are hilarious. The skeleton kick drum is weird but amazing.
Those cookies look like they would break your teeth. Don't like them.
There are no Moo Milk Bar cookie. You're right.
Round 3, our final question, and we're going to Game 7, baby!
Yeah.
That's right. Game 7 of the World Series between the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland professional baseball team goes down tonight at 8 p.m. So, guys, who's your World Series winner? Here we go!
It's the Chicago Cubs. The Indians have Corey Kluber on the mound.
Yeah.
Trying to win his 3rd game of the World Series. 1, 4, and 7 on short rest again.
He's been
that
great on
doesn't
short-
happen
he's been
in
great
baseball.
on short rest,
That
yeah.
hasn't happened since the 1940s. The Cubs have found their groove. The DH suits them. Kyle Schwarber is kicking butt. We've got some great,
Those are some great names. Yeah, Kluber, Schwarber.
And the biggest reason the Cubs are going to win, because a baseball has 108 stitches. The Chicago Cubs haven't won in 108 years.
Someone reads the
It's
New
pretty
York
thick.
Times.
Thanks, New York Times,
Yeah.
for that corny line to get me the crossfire win.
No.
Cubs, Game 7 winners.
I think it's Cleveland. I think it's Cleveland. Yeah. We saw the 3-1, drum set there from LeBron. We can't have Cleveland blow a 3-1 lead. It's very rare. I think the last team to do it in the World Series is the Royals to come back from 3-1.
Here.
I think Cleveland takes care of business.
Here's Skates. Here's a knuckleball.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give you a quick knuckle sandwich with this knuckleball.
Nice. Just outside.
All right.
Outside. Who wins?
Taz is your winner! Did you see the movement on that knuckleball?
Nothing.
That didn't spin. That didn't spin
No,
at all.
come on.
I don't throw it
Good
like that. I
win.
usually throw it with my nails, but I trim them.
Good win, T. Good win. All right, when we return, a new game inspired by Ray Allen and Sarah McLachlan? What? Come on back. You're watching the starters. Meta World Peace loves basketball.
Same.
So we asked you, what do you love about basketball? You jumped on Twitter, hashtag the starters. Trey, you got a few of the best answers.
Yeah, some good answers. This one comes from Tony, who says he loves the way it brings people of all races, nationalities, and backgrounds for one single purpose: to get buckets. That's right,
True,
Tony.
Tony.
Paul says, I love the sound of a squish bomb.
What?
I love the sound of the ball bouncing on hardwood. And there's nothing like basketball. I just like the term squish bomb, to be honest with you. Zay says, the best thing about basketball is the atmosphere of a crowd reaction off a dunk, ankle breaker, or three-point shot. Gotta see it live, no doubt. John says, I love the starters and inside the NBA. There's magic when 4 grown men talk basketball. Seems to be the perfect number for some reason. And finally, Lori says, all those well-defined arms and calves.
Oh, is she still talking about the inside the NBA and us?
She must be.
Yeah, nice gun.
That's why they call me Le Tigre.
All right, get those tweets. Keep those tweets coming, I should say. What do you love about basketball? Hashtag the starters. All right. Inspired by Ray Allen's official retirement yesterday, we started talking about how will you remember Ray Allen? Which team specifically, which era of Ray Allen will you remember most? Be it the Sonics or the Bucks or the Celtics or the Heat. And because of this, it's inspired a new game here on the starters called How I'll Remember You. Sarah McLaughlin. Shout out to Sarah McLaughlin. So Trey, you can explain a little bit more detail how this works.
Yeah, how I'll remember you. I'll give you guys the name of a player who played for a bunch of different teams, a retired player, and you tell me how you think I will remember that player.
Okay.
Kind of confusing, but I'm sure you'll get it as we go along. Our first player is Dikembe Mutombo, who played for the Nuggets, Hawks, 76ers, Nets, Knicks, and Rockets. But how will I remember Dikembe Mutombo?
Oh, okay, this is tough. This is really tough. I mean, there's a couple teams you can just get rid of, but I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets. Not only how Trey will remember, but how I'll remember him. And not just because they raised his jersey up to the rafters recently, but there are 3 things that come to mind when you think of Mutombo. 1, the jersey that he did wear for Denver. Pretty iconic, the Tetris ones for sure. And then blocks, which when he had his best span, that 3-year span, was with Denver. He was averaging over 4 blocks per game.
Yeah.
Overall, he did it his entire career, but really over those last couple years with Denver. And then the iconic moment that you saw there, him clutching the ball after the upset of the number 1 seed Sonics in the playoffs as the 8 seed Nuggets. Those 3 where he's down on the ground and crying. Those are the 3 things. I think it's the Nuggets.
Everywhere he went, he did have a huge defensive impact. But I think actually Philadelphia, for me, even though he was only there a short time.
2 years.
Yeah, short time, defensive player of the year. He was an all-star and they got to the finals that year. He was the second best player on the Sixers team. Sometimes it's about how far you go in the playoffs. For guys who didn't see Dikembe in his early days, might have only seen him when he got to the finals against the Lakers. He was still a good player. You talk about he had those great years in Denver. He was, I think, in his prime.
Are the Sixers going to retire Mutombo's jersey?
No, but
He
but
played
it's not
there. He
about
played there
that.
a year and a half, 106 games. So
Yeah,
no.
but he got to the finals. I mean, that's where he went the furthest with his team.
Fair,
I
but
would-
Iverson got them to the finals.
Yeah, but he was.
I mean, I know they just put a bunch of defensive players around. I'm not knocking his run with the Sixers, but that's Iverson's team. That's his legacy, not Mutombo's. I think who do you go to?
I wouldn't pick one team with Dikembe Mutombo.
Well, you
and
have to.
I know, I don't. I'm okay with that because Dikembe
You got to pick a team.
Dikembe Mutombo is a man of the people. He's a global ambassador. I'm glad 6 teams got to have them on their squad.
okay.
It's just too even. 5 seasons with the Rockets, 5 seasons with the
no,
Nuggets,
you're right.
4.5 with the Hawks, a year and a half with the Sixers. He's a global ambassador. It makes sense.
Okay, no one's picking the Knicks. We know that. So what's the answer here?
Yeah, me neither. I'm picking the Hawks. He just feels like an Eastern Conference player, and the Spread Wings jersey really is what sold it for me.
There's no answer.
Yeah, okay.
They retired his jersey first,
All right, next one.
Nonetheless, our next player is Jason Kidd, who played for the Mavericks, Suns, Nets, Mavericks again, and then finished with the Knicks. How will I remember Jason Kidd?
You're going to remember him as a New Jersey Net. Those were his peak years, from 28 to 34 when he was second in MVP voting.
Yeah.
When he was peak Jason Kidd. And not only peak Jason Kidd, but those were the years where he transitioned from incredible to a perfect complementary player towards the end when he was 34 years old. And you could stop calling him Asen Kidd because he figured out how to hit the J and how to be a complementary player, just hitting the shot and playing defense. That is Jason Kidd for me. That's the epitome of Jason Kidd. Also, because my wife is from the Jersey, New York area, and she went to a lot of games at the Meadowlands, and we dressed up this Halloween as Carrie Skittles and Jason Kidd.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's me. Yeah, that's me.
Drop one of the D's on Jason Kidd there. I get it.
Well, it's optional.
Yeah, well,
however you want to spell it.
I think it's the Nets too. The Nets were brutal before he came there. I think it was a 26 win improvement that first year, and then they obviously go to the finals a couple years. I think it's the Nets.
Yeah.
We're agreeing it's the Nets here.
Yeah, it's definitely the Nets, like you're saying, made him into actual contenders.
Yeah.
And he was on this Slam cover, which
yeah.
is a major moment for me as a child. Not quite the first Nets cover, nonetheless. Moving on, our third player is Kevin Garnett, who played for the Timberwolves, Celtics, and Nets before returning to Minnesota to end his career. How will I remember Kevin Garnett?
Boston Celtics, for sure. Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah.
I
Defensive player
totally
of the year.
disagree.
No, won the championship there. If you weren't a hardcore fan or a Timberwolves fan, you might not have even known that much about him in his first few years in Minnesota. He only got out of the first round once in Minnesota, and that was when they went to the conference finals in 2004. His last 3 years in Minnesota, he didn't even make the
If
playoffs.
Kevin Garnett didn't
but-
play for Minnesota, you wouldn't even known they had a basketball team.
Yeah, but how many people?
It's like Vince Carter with the Raptors. Seriously,
If
it's
you
like
weren't-
Vince with the Raptors. He put Toronto on the map. The kid did the same thing for Minnesota, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but I think when he got to Boston, that was a vindication of just how good he was because they won that championship straight away. They were a contender every single year he was there, and he earned that to get that opportunity to play for a contending team because in Minnesota he was like what Anthony Davis is right now, putting up all these numbers, but it never really translated.
They made the
difference-
playoffs 8 straight years.
Yeah, got out of the first round once.
Well,
How
the
many
difference
people?
is-
The
conference.
difference is he was with Minnesota for 12 years, and with Boston, he joined it as a super team. So to me,
But he was a
there's just-
superstar on a super team.
Yeah, he was, but it was 12 years in Minnesota. It's hard, but
Who do you go with,
Yeah, I
ultimately?
go with Minnesota,
Okay,
just
2
because
to 1 here.
there's too many Bostonians out there. There's too many famous Boston. Give Minnesota something.
This is a controversial one. He's the best Timberwolf ever.
Yes.
But definitely, I'm going Celtics.
What?
Smart
He was
man.
like the
No,
man in the
no.
Eastern Conference for
Exactly.
5 seasons.
Oh.
Everybody had to get by the Celtics.
All right, let's hear from you guys on Twitter. Hashtag the starters. When we return, Lily's very solid play.
The beauty.
Is it an alley-oop?
Nope.
Quick look at tonight's pick 'em play. It's the Rockets and Knicks. It's at Madison Square Garden. Lee and I say the Knicks. Sorry about the loss, Lee. And Trey and Tass are taking the Rockets. Oh man.
I didn't want you to feel left out.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I can't believe it. We had another wedgie.
Yeah. 4 wedgies in 8 nights of basketball.
What is going
We're on
on?
track
I've
for
heard-
like 300.
I've heard broadcasters say that we haven't had a wedgie in years when they see a wedgie. We've got a wedgie every second night
Yeah.
in the National Basketball
Yeah.
Association.
Yes.
We're at 4.
50 is in play.
Got you, 50.
It's in play for sure. All right, Lee. Very solid play. Who gets your honor?
We're going to San Antonio, and we have a new category, but I don't even know what to call it. It's just a magic trick from Kawhi Leonard. Watch this.
Oh, yeah,
Where's the
yeah.
ball? Boom. And then Pau Gasol finishes with a layup. Everyone's in a pump fake party. The Jazz are just watching, and then where's the ball?
Wow.
There it is. Beautiful pass. That's what I call a very solid play.
That's what I call 3 in the key.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Lee, we have time for the fan side.
Wow.
We
It
do.
comes from Ruari and his friends down in Miami. They were there on Sunday, actually, but we're just getting to it now. But look what they've done to us, guys. They're crying Jordan
What?
memes.
Why are we showing this?
We didn't do anything.
Good job, though. A lot of work went into that. Well done, guys.
All right, guys. That's it for us tonight. Back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern here on NBA TV.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, you have to be 21 to be in the World Series of Poker audience, but dogs of any age are allowed.
Race the day, people.